The Beavers are the national champions!
Third time in the modern era.
Big-time moments as they clinch the Pac-12. Manager Grover Larnach.
Every Ruxman.
Highly successful.
Look out, Omaha. Here come the Beavers once again.
Now you've been summoned for a special occasion. I stay ready cause destiny impatient. Changes, haven't seen changes. If you talking fire, then we speak the same language. Rah. Coming up, I'm coming up. Feel the rush, I feel the rush. If this ain't legendary, what you call it? I said if this ain't legendary, what you call it? Feel the vibe, I feel the vibe. Extra live, I'm extra live. And I don't need improvement. Fell asleep, a man woke up superhuman.
"15 miles outside of downtown Dallas from Arlington, Texas. It's the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. Tonight is the nightcap of our doubleheader between two teams after great starts this season. It's a 7-1 Baylor Bears take on the 5-2 and 9th-ranked Oregon State Beavers. Two programs meeting for the first time in close to 20 years. Go head-to-head tonight from Globe Life Field, and first pitch is coming up next. On Flow College alongside Ty Harrington, I'm Brant Freeman. Tyler's start with Baylor out to their best start in 6 seasons. They're playing some great baseball for head coach Mitch Thompson.
Yeah, they're off to a good start. And again, they would have similar last year, but they got hurt. They had a lot of optimism going into this season, and so far, it's played that way for them.
As for Oregon State, one of the top-ranked teams in the country for good reason. This has been one of the more consistent programs in the nation under the direction of head coach Mitch Canham.
Tradition's a great word. I mean, look, the 3 national championships, what they've been able to accomplish at Oregon State, to me, in the baseball world, is one of the more incredible things, and really a tribute to their coaches and the players that have played there.
The Beavers coming off yet another 40-win season from a year ago, and they're 5-2 to start this season. As we take a look at the Baylor batting order presented by Amegy Bank. Leading off for the Bears, Jack Little, followed by Enzo Apodaca, then Wesley Jordan, middle third for Baylor. Hunter Simmons, Will Pendergrass, and Ty Johnson. Then Hunter Toplansky, Cortland Castle, and Tyree Kemp for a lineup that is batting .342 this season, the 14th best mark in the country. And the pitcher they're facing tonight is Nelson Keljo, a big left-hander from Portland, Oregon, 6'4", 228 pounds. Tonight his 46th career appearance and his 7th career start for Oregon State. About to take them out here for the Beavers. A career 3.35 ERA in 26 non-conference games, and making his 3rd start of the season tonight.
Well, you were talking about he's a big physical left-handed pitcher. As we get our first look on camera at just how big and physical he is, and obviously you can see the stats. I mean, you like baseball, you can go through them and figure out 8 innings at a 2.25 ERA, and so 8 strikeouts. The walk's a little high. I mean, if you think about it, you don't want it to be 1 every inning. You'd like for it to be 1 every, maybe 3 a game, maybe 4 a game. But a lot of swing and miss. Talks about his stuff if he's got that many walks and that many strikeouts.
Hasn't gone more than 4 innings in each of his first 2 starts, and again, just 2 earned runs given up in 8 innings of work so far this season for the Beavers. Looking at Oregon State defensively, we'll start with the Beavers outfield. Gavin Turley in left, Dallas Macias in center, Easton Taltz in right field for Oregon State. Left side of the infield, Trent Caraway, the star shortstop, Iva Arquette. A.J. Singer at second, Jacob Craig is at first base. The catcher is Wilson Weber for the Beavers. Oregon State coached by Mitch Canham. In his 6th season now, coaching his alma mater, more than 180 wins in his career, and once upon a time, a national championship catcher for the Beavers back in the mid-2000s.
Part of the tradition. I mean, he played there, was a part of their success, their championships, the tradition. And when you build something like this, Brant, you want to be able to pass it on to somebody that it means that much to, and certainly a former player. And he's been able not only to become the head coach, but to continue the tradition on.
The head coach for the Bears, Mitch Thompson, in his third season at Baylor, where he was an assistant for 18 seasons under Baylor legend Steve Smith.
Yeah, and what a combination they were for a long time, and the success of Baylor Baseball, which, you know, Baylor Baseball, you date all the way back into the 50s and 60s, was a really traditional baseball program. And he was, Mitch back in, into the 2000s was a big part of their success and going to the College World Series, and now he's returned as the head coach.
His Bears this season have won 7 of their first 8 games, off of their best start since 2019. It is just the 4th time since 1995 that Baylor has opened a season 7-1 or better. And again, they are hitting the baseball extremely well. 2nd in the Big 12 in runs scored, and the 13th highest on-base percentage in the nation. Really experienced group as well. 22 players back from last year and 16 seniors for the Bears this season.
That's a lot. That says a lot of different things. We'll get a chance to touch on some of that as the game goes on.
Jack Little takes a first pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Leadoff man here for the Bears, Little. A second-year transfer from Wichita State. Although he missed all of last season for the Bears after suffering an injury in the preseason. So this truly is debut year for the Bears. Takes a strike to even the count at 1-1.
I thought they would take a little bit early. And you got to walk an inning offensively. You got to think the top one or couple guys are going to go up there and take a pitch just to see, because he has shown the ability to walk people and lose command at different times. And again, the base on balls we saw in the game before with Auburn can create a lot of offense for you.
That's right. Auburn started the day with a run rule victory over Ohio State. The other 2 teams here this weekend. Tigers 13-0 in 7 innings. Had a big 8-run seconds. Starting pitcher Samuel Dutton was phenomenal for the Tigers. 6 scoreless innings. Struck out 9. As Little pops up to Singer at second base. That's good for the game's first out.
It gets into a 3-1 count. Keljo able to come in with his fastball on a 3-1 count. Look, it's a live fastball. It's heavy. I mean, look, if I was close enough, you can almost hear it from up here. Just how loud it is, but it's got a lot of juice behind it.
Now Enzo Apodaca, who has recorded a hit and an RBI in 7 straight games for the Bears. Baylor team dealt with a lot of injuries a year ago. Apodaca was the only Baylor player to start every game with the same position back in 2024. Swing and a miss. Couldn't catch up to the fastball at 94. Runs the count to 0-2.
Well, you get a good look at how live that fastball is, and if you're sitting close enough to your TV, you can hear it when it hits the mid, how live it is as well.
0-2. And Keljo struck him out. Did so in 3 pitches, and now 2 outs in the first inning.
Well, it's just a quality pitch, and every once in a while as a hitter, there's just not much you can do. That is a filthy fastball in the outer half of the plate at 90 plus.
Nobody on, 2 down for Wesley Jordan. Off to an incredible start this year for Baylor. As he pops up the first pitch out of play. The senior out of Highland Village, Texas, had a huge opening weekend for the Bears in a sweep over Youngstown State. 9 hits, drove in 7. As the Bears took all 3 from the Penguins that weekend in Waco.
Tenth pitch of the inning. And we haven't seen a secondary pitch yet. And I don't know why we would anyway after watching this 93 to 95 heavy sounding fastball.
Another fastball there from Keljo. Counts 1-2. The batter Jordan, the lone Bear named preseason All Big 12. Just got a piece of that to stay alive, and that time Keljo came back with a secondary pitch.
He did, came with a changeup, an 86-mile-an-hour changeup. He was just able to clip it and foul it off to stay in the at-bat.
Fastball that time at 96.
It is heavy and loud. That is an angry fastball.
Kojo averaging a strikeout per inning through his first 2 starts. The lefty brings the 1-2. Off the plate for ball 2.
Looked like it was just off the outer edge. The catcher was set up middle in, I think. We're going to get another look. Yeah, it was, I mean, just off the edge. As we get a look at the strike box for the first time tonight.
The 2-2. In the air towards center field. Macias on the run for the Beavers, able to get there to end the inning. Kojo retires the Bears in order. Oregon State coming to bat for the first time. After this on Flow College. We're back in a moment.
Possibility. At Shriners Children's, we deliver healing to kids with critical burn injuries, like game-changing advances in regenerative medicine and creating the highest standard of care. We never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs, proving time and again what's possible by empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
A look at the batting order for the 5-2 9th-ranked Oregon State Beavers, presented by Amegy Bank. Leading off for Oregon State, Trent Caraway, followed by the red-hot Iva Arquette and Tice Peterson, the DH, batting third. Gavin Turley, Jacob Craig, A.J. Singer, 4 through 6. In the bottom third of the order for the Beavers, Easton Tull, Wilson Weber, and Dallas Macias. This lineup so far this season batting .320 through the first 7 games of the year. And the pitcher they're facing is Ethan Calder on the mound for Baylor. Off to an impressive start this year. 2-0, 12 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, just 1 walk so far.
Love the 1 walk. I know his coaches do too, and his defense does. 15 strikeouts, a little shade above 1 an inning.
Calder out of the zone at a changeup at his first pitch to Caraway. The ball to no strikes. That's fouled back. Runs the count. Actually 0-2 as we look now at the defense for Baylor. Wesley Jordan, Ty Johnson, Enzo Apodaca in the outfield. Duplanski Kemp, Little Pendergrass in the infield with Cortland Castle, the catcher. That's going to fall in for a base hit for Caraway. A leadoff single starts tonight for Oregon State.
Just a nice approach by Caraway. Fastball away. Back-to-back fastballs away. Like he was looking for it out there. Brandt set up. Look, yep, sure enough, got his body language set up for something away. Drove it that way. What you want from a leadoff hitter, any of your hitters, but certainly your leadoff guy. to get on first hitter of the game.
And Caraway has now opened the season on an 8-game hitting streak. That's his 14th hit of the year. And now the former Washington Husky, Ivar Arquette. A remarkable start to his Oregon State career. Like Caraway before him, has opened the year on a 7-game hitting streak. Tied for the team lead with 10 runs batted in. Was honored with the Brooks Wallace Award early this week, which goes to the nation's top shortstop. He has had a big impact in a short amount of time for the Beavers.
Anytime you're mentioning the Brooks Wallace namesake and awards, I mean, that takes in a lot. I mean, you start talking about even the great shortstops we've seen already this year, just around the country this year in college baseball. There's a bunch of them. He's a tall, physical-looking shortstop. He looked like a big leaguer in his uniform, standing at the plate and out in the field.
6'5", 220.
And that's Cal Ripken-ish. When you get right down, I don't know if that's a word, but I mean, that's what it looks like in a box. Tall, rangy, physical, and can create some leverage with that bat.
Full count from Calder. And draws a walk. And the first two are on for Oregon State here in the first. And just a second walk of the season given up by Ethan Calder.
Yeah, he got behind 3-0, worked his way back into it with a bunch of fastballs. Didn't want to go after him with a 3-2 fastball. Tried to get him off speed with his first breaker to him, but he wasn't able to execute it in the strike zone.
Now the Beavers DH, Tice Peterson, who's reached base 15 times to start the year. The junior out of Kirkland, Washington. Puts the bunt down and it pushes foul. More on the starter, Ethan Calder, actually came to Baylor as an outfielder.
Yeah, I mean, it did come around, you know, originally as an outfielder. And they had so many injuries. He had pitched in high school. And they asked him, they didn't have any left-handed pitching. And they're like, hey, go get your pitching spikes on. And, I mean, look, there's more to this story than we're going to be able to bring out tonight. But it just tells you what kind of young man he is, what type of competitor. He wanted to be on the field.
Brought it back to Calder. Only plays at first base. As good as a sacrifice for Oregon State. That's good for the first out as both runners move a base.
Yeah, and that's, you know, a great pitch. Unfortunately, they were able to move up 90 feet to 2 runners ahead of him, but he does get the out at first. But let me finish that. When you're part of a team and your coach asks you to go do something, hey, we want you to change position. And he does, and now you wake up a year later and you're starting on Friday night against Oregon State. Talks about the development, you know, from the pitching coach side of it, the coaching side of it, but as importantly, maybe even more, that young man on the screen, and number 36 right there, and his dedication to himself and his team and his commitment to make himself better, but to put himself on the field.
Starts off Turley with a slider. Swings over the top for strike one. Gavin Turley, a third-team All-American a year ago. Drove in 74 runs last season. RBI chance here, runner second to third. That time Calder with an elevated fastball, and it's 0-2.
Now, Calder would love to come up with a strikeout somehow, some way. Got to trust your catcher if you're going to go breaker in the dirt, that he's going to be able to block it. It's the perfect spot for it. With a runner on third, you trust your catcher, but you don't want to bounce it way out in front of him where it can ricochet. The breaker with the spin hits the dirt and spins off and catches the catcher's shoulder. You want it right after he turns his glove down.
That ball smacked to center field and it's down for a base hit. Caraway scores. Here comes Arquette. And Oregon State's on top 2-0.
now Turley with just a nice piece of hit. Ball's in the count, 0-2, takes a secondary pitch in the dirt, ball right away, fastball away. And I got to be honest with you, Brant, so far, the Oregon State hitters had a really good plan on the balls away, fastballs away, which is where he likes to throw the ball in the outer half. That's a good offensive plan.
And now Turley up to 129 career RBI in just 2+ seasons as a Beaver. Brings up Jacob Craig, who fouls off the first pitch.
I think Calder's going to have to get on the third base side of the plate to the right-handed hitters. That pitch was a little more in. I think the Oregon State hitters right now are focused on the ball away from them, looking for it out there, and they've been able to execute 2 swings for base hits away so far.
Another big body for a Beaver hitter. Craig stands 6'5" himself and 241 pounds.
They look like a bunch of tight ends running around out there, is what it looks like.
Good numbers for Craig a year ago as a sophomore in Corvallis. 278 batter with 9 homers and drove in 40. Fouls off that pitch to stay alive at 1-2.
Tried to get after him with a changeup away where he's been throwing those fastballs away that they've been able to get hits off of. He goes to a changeup out there. And Craig able to foul it off.
That time fouled off the breaking ball.
Yeah, interesting timing right now. You've gone away the second half of this count. The last 3 pitches have been away. I'll be curious and anxious to see if he does try to finally go in.
That ball shot to left field. Slicing foul.
Tell you what, that was a moonshot too.
Three of the first 4 have reached for the Beavers in the first. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Calder. And Craig couldn't check his swing.
Tough pitch to check your swing on. You got a 2-strike count on you. You got to protect. Your barrel's already moving emotionally because of the protect. Elevates. Good pitch. That's a great pitch. That's just hard to lay off of.
2 outs, and it brings up A.J. Singer. This Beaver team opened the season 5-0 before suffering back-to-back losses to Oklahoma and Minnesota and Round Rock last week. Had a big offensive opening weekend 2 weeks ago to surprise Arizona. Beavers outscored the opposition that weekend 48-9. Headed towards the shortstop, Kemp. Able to make the play at second base to end the bottom of the first. But Gavin Turley drives home a pair, and Oregon State strikes first. We go to the second, and the Beavers on top of the Bears, 2-0 here on Flo College.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
Now time for a coach's interview presented by Amegy Bank. We're joined by Baylor head coach Mitch Thompson, coaching your third season now at the helm at Baylor. Before that, 18 seasons as an assistant for the great Steve Smith. So more than 20 years for you at Baylor. What has your time in Waco meant to you?
Oh yeah, I've been in Waco for about 30 years now, so it's definitely home. A lot of good people. Baylor's a great place and a great school and a place where we're proud to be.
Mitch, I got to ask you, you're 7-1 coming in. Tell us what your assessment of your club is so far before this weekend.
Yeah, no, we like where we're at. We like our guys. Competitiveness has been great. We've been getting good starting pitching. Bullpen's definitely better. Like what we're seeing. Our lineup's experience, so we're expecting good things.
Now, I saw David Murphy down there throwing out the first pitch. Any temptation to try to slip him into that gray Baylor uniform tonight, let him jump in the 3-hole?
No doubt. Now, I did see him throw that pitch from about 45 feet away, so no, Murph would definitely like to get Murph back in that 3-hole. That would be a real plus.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much. Good luck the rest of the game.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
That again, Baylor head coach Mitch Thompson joining us here on the broadcast as Hunter Simmons flies out to right for the first out of the inning. So far for Nelson Keljo for Oregon State, 4 up and 4 down.
Yeah, I said this, not kiddingly either, in the first inning. That's an angry, loud fastball. I mean, you can hear it up here in the booth, and you watch the action of it. And so far, outside of the first couple that he threw to the leadoff hitter, he's had much better command tonight than he did last time out.
Swing and a miss by Pendergrass, 0-2. Another Baylor player coming off a season-ending injury from a year ago.
Well, they got devastated with injuries. And, people always just say, well, next man up. Well, I mean, you start running out of next man up. And I thought they did a pretty good job last year. I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw them later in the year in Austin, and I thought they were doing a great job because they did have so many injuries. And it's hard to bounce back. And also when you're trying to rebuild a program, you don't have the depth yet.
Pendergrass so far out to a 1-for-10 start at the plate this season. The senior out of Missouri City, Texas, in the greater Houston area. He goes around. Second strikeout for Keljo. 2 down here at the top of the second.
Well, when you got that angry fastball coming at you at 96, and then he throws a little changeup in there and attacks it like he does to those hitters, Brent, it looks like a fastball coming out of his hand. You got to gear up, get ready for it, get set for it, and that thing just like it puts the brakes on halfway there and falls down.
Nobody on, 2 away for Ty Johnson. Lefty hitter up at the plate here for the Bears. Johnson, the senior from Flower Mound, Texas.
Definitely got the best name in the tournament, first name.
T.Y., Ty.
Indeed.
Ty Johnson, out to a good start this year. Has reached base 17 times in the first 7 games. Ahead against Keljo, 2-0, now 2-1. Here we are, game 2 of a doubleheader. Auburn won earlier today. Doubleheaders tomorrow and Sunday as well. 2-1 pitch on the ground into the shifts. Little from seconds over to first base for the 3rd and final out. Nelson Keljo, 6 up, 6 down. Oregon State coming back to the plate, leading Baylor 2-0.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. We're delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made and champions are born.
The Baylor Bears out to a 7-1 start this year, their best start since 2019. The only setback, an 8-7 loss to Gonzaga in extra innings a week ago in Waco. Hitting the ball really well, 342 through their first 8 games, 14th best figure in the country. And like Auburn from earlier today, Baylor on the road for the first time this week, and I say the road tie, not that far from Waco here in Arlington.
No, and if you're going on the road, I mean, to go play in a tournament and play different teams, but also to come to this ballpark and play in this on this surface, the surroundings, 72 and sunny, or dark now. But I mean, I just, if you're going to go on the road, these tournaments have become so popular, and because you don't feel like you're going to somebody's home field, you know, and it's a neutral site. But then again, also to come here where they treat you like, I mean, it's unbelievable how you know, Rev Entertainment and the Rangers treat everybody when they walk in the door here. Players, coaches, fans, everybody.
Easton Top puts down a bunt, pushes it foul. Leadoff man for the Beavers here in the seconds. Bottom part of the order batting for Oregon State. After the Beavers struck for a pair of runs in the first inning against Ethan Calder. Calder had a phenomenal opening day start against Youngstown State. Struck out 13, the most by a Baylor pitcher in opening day since 2003, and the most by any Baylor pitcher in any game since 2011. The following week, 7 scoreless innings against Gonzaga. Pass rolled to first, handled by Pendergrass. One away here in the bottom of the second.
Well, they were having to reach way back into the archives to come up with some of those. You go back into early 2003 and 11, you're going to get a look defensively. Oh, look at the nice step in by both of them on timing. Watches the ball in his glove. Easy play to go over. When I say easy play, after you field it, go over and step on the bag. But both the first baseman, second baseman on their creepers, meaning their step in on the pitch. Timing was perfect. It's like they were dancing together.
Now Wilson Weber up here for Oregon State. Senior out of Gresham, Oregon. And batting 8th in the order for the Beavers here tonight. You go back to the first inning, Trent Caraway on 2 strikes. Had a base hit to right field. That's been the key to the offensive success for Oregon State this year, is getting that leadoff batter to reach. They've done so in 44% of the innings this season.
I mean, that's pushing, that's just barely south of 50% half the time. That means every other, easy math, every other inning, those guys are getting their leadoff guy. And well, when you start doing that, you just create a lot of tension for the other team and an opportunity for yourself.
Ground ball to third, vacuumed up by Toplansky. Long throw is in time. So some good plays by the corner infielders by Baylor here in the second.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the opportunity first, right? That means, you know, Calder's doing his job, meaning, you know, I think his secondary is a little bit better right now. He's gone to his breaker a little bit more, created some ground ball opportunities for his infielders, and they've done a good job of handling the baseball.
Nobody on, 2 down for Dallas Macias. But a slow start to his season for a player who hit better than 300 a year ago. Macias 2 for 16. to start the year, although he has drawn 7 walks. Slider that misses the zone, even if it's counted a ball and a strike. Messi is named honorable mention All Pac-12 a year ago. Nice looking breaking ball from Calder for strike 2.
Yeah, he's gone away from his fastball. He may try to elevate here, but he's gone away from it, gone to his breaker. I think they were sitting on that outer half of that fastball. Those 2 hits in the first inning. They tried to elevate, sneak it in on him.
Beavers out to a 5-2 start. They won 45 games a year ago. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Calder. Navigates to the bottom of the Beavers order. In order and the second. We have played 2 innings in Arlington. Oregon State 2. Baylor nothing. A couple of punch outs for Calder. And we head to the top of the third. Beavers on top in Arlington. We're back after this on Flow College.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Arlington, the Renegades are going full throttle this spring when the UFL returns.
What a catch!
Get ready for more action-packed football and unforgettable experiences at Choctaw Stadium.
That is something special right there.
Renegades, mount up and get your tickets today.
Time now for a coach's interview presented by Amegy Bank. We're joined by Beavers head coach Mitch Canham. And coach, you find yourself at Globe Life Field for a second straight season. What does it mean for you to be in this tournament again?
It's an outstanding event for our guys, and looking around in the stands too, you see a ton of Beaver Nation showing up, and just excited to watch the boys come out and play some baseball. Tell you what, while we walked in, all the guys were fired up being in a big league stadium. And I told them, hey, don't forget, playing at Goss is like playing in a big league stadium with that ambiance too, so you're used to it. It's no surprise.
Coach, I got to ask, I mean, you were part of the tradition championships as a player. I mean, and this is an obvious question. How exciting and how much fun is this for you to be able to coach your alma mater and to carry on and push forward with the tradition that you were a part of as a player?
I tell you, and I look at our entire staff, guys who have all poured in blood, sweat, and tears to this place and have learned from the best with Case before us. You know, it's incredible. Every day you show up with a revived passion and love for this place, and you want to give everything you have to these players, for all these people that are watching here or at home watching. It means something special. And even my little ones at home, you know, they're going to tune in for every game if they can't make it, but they know all the guys' walkout songs, you know, and so you look at that and all the kids across the country that love Oregon State. I've got to see it firsthand, and so it means a little something different when you show up to work every day.
Coach, so far 2 really good innings from Nelson Keljo. What have you seen from him so far?
Well, he's attacking with his heater, which I love. Webby's back there giving him a nice low target. Nellie's a bit of a perfectionist right now. You can see him if he misses a spot. He gets frustrated with himself, but what I like is that we're attacking right out the gate, winning the 0-0s, winning the 1-1s. So I want to see more and more of that.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you, guys. Cheers. Go Beavs.
And again, Beavers head coach Mitch Canham joining us. 6th season now at Oregon State. Played for the legend Pat Casey, who retired in 2018 following his 3rd national championship in Corvallis.
You can hear that answer from the heart. Every piece of it.
Keljo with his 3rd strikeout tonight. To Plasky goes down swinging. 7 up, 7 down for the left-hander Nelson Keljo.
You can hear that fastball again, too. I'm telling you, this thing is just roaring in there. It looks like it gets halfway, Brent, and it just takes off like it's an airplane about to take off on the runway.
Now Cortland Castle, the Baylor catcher. One of the more experienced Bears, Castle, playing his 100th game tonight, the second most experienced player on the team. A really cool moment for him, too, before the season began, about a month before the year started. Got engaged to his girlfriend at home plate at Baylor Ballpark last month.
Boy. Yeah. I like that. You're going to spend your life on a ballpark and the ball field. You just got to hope she has the same thoughts as you do, that she likes baseball just as much as you do.
Well, you know that she does if the wedding happens at a ballpark, right?
Yeah, now that would, yeah, that would be different for sure. I mean, that might be taking it to a different level.
That's true.
Yeah, that might be.
He's on base with 1 out and a third. The first base runner allowed by Keljo.
Fastball got away from him just a little bit. Elevated it. Popped out of his hand. I'd say popped out of his hand. Not when you're throwing it this hard. Came out of your hand a little bit high. Let's see how he regroups after he does walk his hitter for the first time tonight.
Big bat for the Bears in the 9-hole, Tyree Kemp. 7-game hitting streak for Kemp, and during the stretch, 5 doubles. We talk about all these huge Oregon State batters. Kemp was the polar opposite. 5'7". Up at the plate for Baylor.
Yeah, but he's put together at 5'7". I mean, that's a short point A to point B. I mean, with that swing and that barrel, young man has got some thunder in there too. You wouldn't, you look at him and say, okay, he's 5'7". He's not gonna, hit any doubles out. You lay a ball in the middle part of the plate, he surely can.
Counted a ball and 2 strikes.
Not many sliders. Just a couple. That one backed up on him, didn't get over the top of it to get it going from left to right. And he tried to come back to it again. It acted similar. Stayed arm side. It's like he didn't quite get over the top and get through it.
Up the middle, scooped up by Singer to Arquette for 1, over to Craig for 2, and a double play turn by the Beavers. Oregon State, a twin-killing ends at top of the 3rd. Remains a 2-0 Oregon State lead over the Bears.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries. We're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
All 3 weekends of college baseball here at Globe Life Field benefit Shriners Children's, with a portion of ticket sales going to a worthy cause that is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. To donate, scan the QR code on your screen or visit globelifefield.com/collegebaseball. Back at Globe Life Field, 2-0, Beavers on top. Just saw Oregon State turn an impressive double play to end the top of the inning. And now we go back to the top of the Oregon State lineup to Trent Caraway.
They made a tough play look fun and exciting. They handled that ball in the middle like two big leaguers, and I was kind of, going through, I was nerding out on their defensive stats and looking at what they'd done and reading through it. And then I watched pregame and when they took in and out, and it was impressive. It was easy for them. And when it's easy like that, they make it look easy, you got a lot of confidence. That double play, second baseman went over there, and he went over and just kind of one-handed it, flipped it over with his glove, with confidence. Yeah, we're gonna get another look at this. Look at him, just shovel it over and lead the shortstop to it. And Arquette absolutely just fires that ball to first base. That's fun to watch.
That ball headed towards left field, but able to back up and make the catch, Tyree Kemp. Little bloop shot that wouldn't land there for Caraway. That's the first out of the inning.
Okay, now you're starting to see Calder go to the third base side of the plate now. They got those 2 hits, sitting up, looking for it out, away from him, fastballs away, and they got him in the first inning. Now he's starting to work that breaker from left to right, but also his fastball now up in the strike zone, and then also on the inner half.
Second at bat tonight for Ivor Arquette. Walk and score, back of the first. Arquette, a preseason All-American, named to the Golden Spikes preseason award watch list as well. Ahead against Calder, 2-0. You saw that great defense from Arquette of that double play. Well, he was named to the All-Pac-12 defensive team last year as a Husky. Takes a strike on the breaking ball to run the count to 2-1. Sky to center. Ty Johnson has got it for the second out.
Calder doing a good job of tying their barrels up now. He's got them off timing, disrupting their plan of wanting the ball away from them. Now he's getting the ball on top of them, trapping their barrels, not allowing them to get extended and or hit the ball the other way.
Nobody on, 2 out for Tice Peterson. This is the second time that Oregon State has been here. Talked about it with Mitch Canham earlier. The Beavers were here a year ago for tournaments, as well as a midweek game. They won 3 of the 4 games on their visit to Arlington. Victories over Texas Tech, Michigan, and Oklahoma State, so they've played the Big 12 here before. The only setback the Beavers suffered was a 5-4 loss to Arkansas A game that saw Razorback starter Hagen Smith strike out 17 batters in 6 innings. I mean, think about that number.
Yeah, I just did. I saw the game, so I did, and I thought about it, and I was trying to replay pieces of that game in my mind, and just how many strikeouts, just how electric he was that night, too. When you can see electricity off a fastball on TV, and you know what can't imagine what that thing looks like in person.
Headed towards center. Coming in is Ty Johnson. And Calder is through the Beavers in order in the 3rd. Head to the 4th inning. Oregon State on top of Baylor here from Globe Life Field.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new. We on the new way. See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12, now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know we are.
And welcome back to Globe Life Field. Brant Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. We're now joined by former Baylor Bear star David Murphy, former longtime big leaguer as well. First, I have to ask, what is it like for you, Murph, to see your alma mater playing in this ballpark?
I love it. I love that Coach T is back running the show again. Zach Dillon, who I played with, he's the first base coach. So just seeing old familiar faces and just supporting the green and gold, it's great to be here.
Look, I got to be honest with you. So I asked Mitch a minute ago when you threw out the first pitch. I said, any ideas? He looks like he's in shape, and you can put him in that, gray uniform, let him get in the lineup real quick.
43 years old, so you got to remember that. I do throw quite a bit of BP, but beyond that, who knows? I love the game. I would love to just step up against a guy that's, been, 95, 96 tonight, but he would probably get the best of me.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, look, I had a chance to I've known this young man since he was in high school and watched him develop through high school and then obviously into Baylor. And I tell this story to people that'll listen, and it's getting harder to find people that listen to me more often than not. But it's seriously, I've told this story. Mitch and I have talked about it before. Your freshman year at Baylor, you were a really good player. You could see that it was gonna, you were gonna be a great college player, a good college player. But I remember telling we showed up in Waco your junior year, and y'all were taking BP. So y'all get done taking BP, and I walk over to Mitch and Steve Bo Smith, and I was like, it sounds different. It just sounds different than it did 2 years ago when he was a freshman, meaning your junior year, you put on some weight and got physical. And so, I mean, that junior year was a special year for you as well.
It was. I mean, I honestly had my first 2 years of college baseball were what I would consider mediocre. I mean, I got playing time, and that was big. I got hurt my sophomore year a little bit, and I had to fight back from that. So all in all, I had one great year in college, and I had 2 mediocre years. My junior year, as you mentioned, I think that was the first time that I got over 200 pounds, and I definitely noticed the dividends from time spent in the weight room. So I'm just thankful for what Baylor was able to provide strength and conditioning wise, and obviously from a coaching standpoint, what I was able to learn on the field as a hitter.
David, a great big league career for you, more than 100 homers, more than 470 runs batted in. When people think about your time in the majors, of course they think about your time as a Texas Ranger. You played at the old ballpark. What do you make of the new ballpark now?
It's interesting. You know, I spend most of my time up here, and early on, it seemed like it was going to be a big-time pitcher's park, but as time has gone by over the course of the last few years, I feel like it's kind of it's shifted. I would say it's more neutral, but I would say it's shifted maybe more toward an offensive ballpark. Obviously, if you use the middle of the field here toward the bullpens and dead center, it can play pretty big. But as most ballparks, if you go down the lines, it'll carry.
And when people think about your time in Texas, have to think about the 2 runs to the World Series in back-to-back years. How special were those 2 seasons at Texas?
They were great. I mean, 2 best years of my career. Great chemistry, great players. I think I'm just so fortunate when I look back at my career, the amount of talented guys that I got to play with, whether the regulars, the Michael Youngs and the Beltres, Kinslers, Josh Hamilton, Vladimir Guerrero, for a season, rubbed shoulders with Cliff Lee when he got traded over for a little bit. And, similarly in Boston, Cleveland, and with the Angels to end up. I mean, there's a Hall of Fame quality, perennial all-stars on it. I could make up a 25-man roster of guys that I got to play with that were just incredible, and so many of those were here in Texas.
I gotta ask, you just said, I think that you've got one of your children, as we see a base hit to right field, one of your children's going to join the Baylor family. Yep. Is that right?
My oldest is going to Baylor next year. She, I guess it's been official since sometime in the fall. And, we're going through the process right now, figuring everything out, but we're excited. At first, it didn't seem like it was going to happen, and then she took a visit. We took her to Waco last spring, and that's really all it took. We took a tour, and she loved every bit of it. So at that point, there was no turning back.
Talked about your time playing for Steve Smith. What was it like playing for Rod Washington?
Talk about a guy that he gave the clubhouse to his players, and I don't know if I've ever played for anybody who's ever enjoyed the game as much as he did. And you would see it when he would be dancing, when guys would be running the bases, or just with his passion and enthusiasm. And what was not seen so much of the time, if he was standing up or sitting down, like he would, during an at-bat when a pitch was delivered, he would like hold his breath and get on his toes, and he was with his players on every pitch.
A drive out to left, and this game is tied. Wesley Jordan goes deep for a 2-run shot, and now it's 2-2.
Grant, it looked like Jordan caught a 2-seamer in the middle of the plate, and he did not miss it. He got every piece of this baseball as he drives it out to left field. We're going to get another look at it. I mean, it is right in the heart of the plate. And David Murphy, you know what that feels like.
My goodness, and it said 111 and 441 feet, yeah. 111 miles an hour off the bat. I mean, that ball is well struck. Ty, what do you think, these college kids and all the numbers that are put in front of them these days?
Yeah, you're talking about on the analytic part of it?
Just the analytic. I mean, and I know I haven't been to a bunch of college ballparks, but here we're playing in a big league ballpark, and exit velocity and distance, launch angle, that's all posted on the scoreboard out there. But those are things that these guys have grown up with. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I had to go back and I had to go teach myself what it all meant, right? Because it wasn't as prevalent when I was coaching, and it was just starting to evolve really in 19 when I got out. Somewhere around 17 we started to get the data on it, so it took a little time to understand it. These young guys, through their coaches and what they have at their facilities now, it seems like all the major ones for sure have all the pictures. They got everything you need data-wise. It spits it out for them after practice, during games, and so they have an understanding, right? They know what it means, and so they can go back and repeat something that they did that generated that outcome. And so we didn't have anything like that other than rub some dirt on it, let's go keep going. But can it be too much? Possibly.
For sure.
Right? You know, it can be confusing too as well, right?
Yep. I was laughing before the game with Coach T because do you remember the name Brad Sullivan?
Oh, yeah.
And he was at University of Houston. I believe he was an All-American. He was a high draft pick. I want to say that Oakland drafted him in 2003. But, you know, back in the day when I was in college, like pretty much every guy we faced, maybe a little bit lower on midweek. And then, you know, you face a guy on a Friday night, maybe he's 88 to maybe tops out at 91. But for the most part, everybody that I faced on average in college was 86 to 88. Well, you got a lefty tonight starting the game that he was 96 in the first inning, and that that blows my mind. It's kind of like David Percy. You know, he's a guy that pitched for OU around the time that I was at Baylor, but you didn't see, you know, mid-90s very much, and now it's all over the place in the college game.
Well, they train for it. That's part of it, right? I mean, if you look at how much they train, they go to these, you know, boxes, meaning training facilities, and they try to create the velocity, and debatable whether, you know, it helps with their command or not. There's a lot of debate in there, but what, you know, professional baseball tells you is that they pay for velo, right? From the pitching perspective and the spin rate. So if that's what they're paying for, then, you know, you're seeing everybody go train for it. And, you know, again, walks may be up. The hitters, now this is a question for you. You're seeing 94, 96. These college guys are seeing it, you know, even like at 19 Mile last year, every scouting report, the Friday night guy was 92 to 95, right? So we had to change our training to the machine part of it to create the angle and the velo that went with it. So as a hitter, they're still scoring runs. They're still catching up, right? I mean,
it's a game of adjustments, right? So it's kind of one thing, like I always had quick hands, but I don't think I timed the fastball very well when I was in college and transitioning to a pro. But then when you're seeing, you know, 91, 92 every single day, then it becomes a little bit more normal and natural to you, and that's what these guys are facing all the time. So naturally, they've made the adjustments.
I told this story to somebody the other day when I was a young assistant at the University of Texas after I got through playing, that we had 5 guys on our staff at Texas that year in '89. We played for the national title that year. Only 5 guys threw over 90 miles an hour.
Wow.
Now, if you don't throw over 90 now, you're not, right?
You're not getting looked at.
Ty Johnson to the plate now for Baylor.
You're doing what with yourself all the time now, other than training your own kids and throwing a lot of BP? And
yeah,
you know,
so I coach a 14U team. I coach a 10U team. You know, my daughter who's graduating, she was a volleyball player, and I also have a dancer. So we're all over the place with the kids. And then, you know, I spend about 45 games during the year up here in the booth. And, you know, just I love the opportunity to rub shoulders with the pros still and just continue to learn. You know, it's a constantly developing game, and gosh, there's so much talent, especially on the Rangers. You know, I get to watch Seager all the time. You know, the World Series championship and that whole run a few years ago. It was so much fun to watch and watch. You know, the DFW community just engage with this team and get so excited. And first World Series in franchise history was finally brought home.
Well, I get to watch you in the booth, and you do a tremendous job, by the way.
Thank you.
But think about this, your transition to it. So you had to go and, you know, put some work in, put some time in, or was it, we're going to use the word easy, but was it natural for you?
Well, it was interesting because I did a few years of just pre and post game, strictly I guess pre and post game at the major league level, and I would do about 5 games a year out in Frisco for you know, the Rough Riders would televise 10 games a year, and I would do about half of them. And then they asked me if I wanted to, you know, try some time doing color, and I gladly accepted. So, you know, love doing it. I don't know if it was easy, but I was just like, do y'all want me to train or do anything? Yeah. So, yeah, it's been fun.
David, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
He shows up and they hit a homer.
Wesley Jordan, a 2-run shot has tied the game as we go to the bottom of the 4th here in Arlington.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care.
Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour, Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Yeah, winning a policy. Thank God for $1, a prophecy. Lot of pressure, I am a prodigy. Everybody inside of the stadium tell me they proud of me. Shot in public, training privately. Homer, straight to the balcony. Building muscle, I never can bother me. Texas Rangers together, we by the team. Go man, this is the dog in me. Still a game on the road, it's a robbery. Stand on base, going strong, no apology. Corey Seager might give it to Rock. Like I see it, descending my arm.
Heading into the fourth inning of our nightcap of this doubleheader. Auburn won earlier today in a run rule over Ohio State. 13-zip, got a good one here. At the bottom of the fourth, tied 2-2. Baylor in the top of the inning got a game-tying two-run homer from Wesley Jordan. And that would go to the bottom of the fourth. Leading off is Gavin Turley, who had a two-run base hit of his own back in the first inning. On the ground, a third, and long throw is made by Toplansky. One away here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
I had so much fun with David. My book is a mess. After the home run, I have no idea in my book what all happened. I have to go back. I'm going to have to cheat off of your book to go figure out what happened. He's a treat, isn't he? He truly. Yeah. Look, his family was same way in summer baseball when they were coming up, and he was, sub, college when he was in high school, and played the game right in so many different ways at Baylor. And obviously, most people probably know him as a Ranger and what he did here. But, man, just a quality person.
And again, part of some great runs with the Rangers back in the 2010s. Back-to-back World Series in 2010 and again in 2011. Spoke about some of the great players for the Rangers then. Adrian Beltre, Michael Young, Cliff Lee, Josh Hamilton. Some talented teams that won a couple of American League pennants.
When he started naming off everybody that he was playing with, I was like, this is an all-star game?
And he was a part of some great Baylor teams, too, in the early 2000s.
He sure was. They had it rolling. I'm intrigued. These Beaver hitters walk up there and they've got their elbow protections on, and inside on the straps it said heater state. I got to figure out what this means. I'm curious now, and I'm just curious enough to ask somebody that'll give us the information. We get a chance. Look at it right there. I've never seen this before. And I'm sure there's a simple explanation. I'm just probably not smart enough to figure it out. But
full count to Craig. There's a drive out to left. Oregon State back on top. A towering shot into the upper deck for Jacob Craig.
Tell you, he got it. He really got it. Middle plate, didn't miss it. Put a charge into it, as you mentioned, Brant. Upper deck. We're going to get a second look at it. Oh, fastball right in the middle. Elevated. Knew it as soon as it left his bat.
That is a 10th home run for Oregon State this season, their first tonight. They have the lead back 3-2. Out of the plate, A.J. Singer here for the Beavers. That pitch hit well to right field. Apodaca going back. He has the catch in the warning track for the second out.
Puts a good swing on it, tries to go the other way with it. It's a long ways to try to drive a ball over the outfielder's head, indoor out of the park. Apodaca able to retreat back, make the catch.
2 outs, bases empty for Easton Taltz. The junior out of Everett, Washington. And Taltz takes a strike at the breaking ball.
Your name's Easton. Probably you're destined to be a baseball player, and you probably, somewhere in your family, your mom or your dad was a baseball or a softball player. Or I guess you could just like, I mean Easton, right?
Sure,
or,
yeah.
I mean, that's
could be a simple
possible
explanation
too, right? It could be. But yet here he is on a baseball diamond, right? So I'm going to stick with it. Family had some baseball ties, and
the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Calder into 4th inning. But the Beavers have the lead once again. Jacob Craig, a solo homer. That's put the Beavers back on top, 3-2. A shot into the upper deck off the bat of Craig. And the Beavers hold a 1-run lead heading into the 5th. We're back after this on Flow College from Arlington, Texas.
I don't feel right unless the odds against me. Back against the wall of my strength. Yeah, yeah. I can't let it break. Everything I've been through, it made better. I never hate it, you made me better. Been through everything, it just made me better. I can't waste the pain, it just made me better. Once you make mistakes, it just made me better.
To left field. Goodbye, home run.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level.
Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made, and champions are born.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field. Brant Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. I'm joined by Nick Diaz, Executive Vice President for Amegy Bank. Nick, first tell us about the partnership between Amegy Bank and Rev Entertainment here in Arlington.
You know, we're really excited about this. We're excited to elevate our brand here in North Texas. We've been here for 21 years. Getting excited with college baseball, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of baseball across the nation, and yeah, so.
3 straight weeks now of college baseball here in Arlington with this partnership. How great has that been?
It's been great. We've had some great teams, and the teams we have tonight, having the number 8 team in the nation, and the number 8 team in the nation, and a 3-time College World Series championship team in the last 20 years, and a rematch from a prior World Series championship. So,
you say you're enjoying the college baseball, and you're a baseball fan. Your baseball background?
Yes, sir.
And is?
I played all the way through Division III college in Southwestern and Georgetown, Texas.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience for me. I learned a lot. Learned a lot about teamwork. You take that into the bank,
Yep.
and working alongside others and seeing your team succeed.
Your coach at Southwestern was?
His name was Jim Mallon. He coached there for 30-plus years, was very, very successful, 1,400-plus wins, very storied career. We had a great time playing there for 4 years. So,
Yeah, you know, it's a great program. Jim, Coach Mallon did an unbelievable job. I don't know if you know this, so obviously I'm older than you are, but when he was, we would play at the University of Texas, we would play Southwestern.
Right.
And then in the summer times, believe this is crazy. We're playing a summer league game. It was called, back then it was called the Texas Beer League, and I was playing for a team in Waco and the Waco Pirates. And Coach Mallon was umpiring in the summertime, and he would umpire those games.
Well, Coach Mallon also was a big-time high school football referee.
Well, I did not know that.
Did not know that. I worked a couple chain gangs with him. Had a good time on Friday nights, and also baled some hay for him in his hayfield. So
that's the cheap labor part,
right?
Son, you want your name in the lineup or on the mound, right? We're going to go bale some hay.
Exactly.
You've been the executive VP at Amegy Bank since 2019. Just how much has your company grown over the past 6 years?
You know, we've been able to help a lot of companies. You know, here in North Texas, we're over $2 billion in assets, and we're helping small and medium-sized companies and individuals every day, and we're proud to do that and deliver capital to growing companies and people that are building their families. So it's been good. It's been a good run.
Tell us more about your role with Amegy Bank.
Yes, I manage one of the commercial banking teams up here, and we focus on middle market companies doing revenues between 10 and 300 million in revenue, usually family owned and privately held, and you know, helping them meet their financial goals, both with loans and deposits and other fee income items. So,
Easton Tall there for the second out of the inning.
You know, it was great, you know, throwing out the first pitch with David Murphy. It's a little bit intimidating, you know, been next to a former big leaguer for 7 years, but seeing a guy that you're able to, you know, put his name on an immaculate grid every morning or at least once a week or something.
Well, here's what you've got on him. I'm going to let you know that, and even if it's not true, nobody's going to know but you and I, so you can tell this story. You can tell everybody that you threw a better strike than he did.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you did, and I don't know if we've got video proof of it, but again, you can take that with you at this point.
But it was really nice of him. He was really sweet to meet my kids and autograph a baseball for him, so I want to thank him for taking the time to do that, and he was about as prince of a guy, so I enjoyed doing that with him.
Well, he is a tremendous human being. He's obviously a great baseball player, and that speaks for itself and what he did at Baylor and professional baseball. But you're right, he's a prince of a man and a tremendous human being.
2 balls and a strike to Tyree Kemp. Have you been out here all 3 weekends, Nick?
No, this is my first time out here. This is the night my group had, and we're hosting some clients and prospects, and they're having a good time. We brought 5 12-year-olds and an 8-year-old boy. They're out there chasing foul balls that have a Amegy Bank on it. It's great. Oh, yeah. See, mine kind of dove to the left. Man, I could have used a little bit more spin on that four-seamer, but that looked good.
Well, your catcher did a great job of getting underneath it and framing it for you.
Yes, he did.
Right?
About 80% there. I was my heart skipped a beat. Say, just get there, don't skip. And I was practicing on the concourse with my son. So
I love it. Well, he may have been as nervous for you as you are probably for him when he does something, right? The roles kind of change.
Right. I'm learning to calm down in the stands when I'm watching him play ball. So, you know, I've had some practice over the last 4 years, so I'm just, you know, kind of cruise down the right field line and just watch him quietly now.
Back at the top of the Baylor order to Jack Little.
We got the lefty out of there, huh?
Now the starter Nelson Kojo's out. Eric Segura in now for Oregon State.
think this was by design. They wanted to try to get 3 to 4 innings out of Keljo and then go to Segura by playing. They're piggybacking him. Look, it's 2 different looks. Now, both of them really good fastballs. We're going to see 92 and 94, but a little bit more of a secondary mix with his breaker change. But Keljo mainly tonight, and MO has been that hard, mean fastball.
Topped out at 96 in this game.
Wow.
You come to many of the pro games here?
I do. We both my kids were born in Houston, so we come and watch some Astros games. But we secondarily root for the Rangers. They've got that 23 World Series run was really great, and they had a Baylor Bear on their team, Bradford, and I think he moved on this year, didn't he?
I don't know that.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I would tell you this, and I coached for a long time, and we would go play at different ballparks and pro ballparks, and they do as good a job here and probably better than most with the way they treat everybody here, the Rangers and Rev Entertainment, and they've made this a friendly baseball welcoming place. I mean, if you like baseball, high school, college, professional, they've made this place. And so your partner in this whole thing with them, I mean, you can't find a better partner.
Right. No, they're great. The Rev team, and I grew up with Jared Schramm. I'm a little bit older than him, but familiar with him and his family from El Paso. And to have 3 weeks of college baseball here is super exciting. And for Amegy to partner alongside with that and get this kind of brand elevation for us is impactful. And we hope to, we're excited for the next couple of years with it as well.
Well, especially that first weekend too, with the partnership with Shriners Children's as well.
Correct.
2 on, 2 out for Baylor's Enzo Apodaca bats. A couple of walks in the inning, give it up by Segura.
What position did you play at Southwest?
I played right field, and a little bit of center field.
All right, I got a question for you then. How do you think you match up with some of this 93 to 95 everybody's throwing?
You know what? You might. Back in the day, we didn't see this type of heat all the time. It was very rarely. All these guys are grown men now. They have a different nutritional program than we did have at Southwestern in 2002. But the game of college baseball has been growing in popularity, and it's experiences like this that are exciting for these players to come in and play in a big league park, surrounded by family, friends, and just good college baseball fans. So
college baseball is bigger and better than it's ever been.
It really has. I mean, the investments going in some of these stadiums in the South, they kind of starting to look like minor league ballparks as well. And the money that they've been raising, it's exciting time to be a college baseball fan for sure.
It's an older game now because it cut out. It was 40 rounds when you were probably coming out, 40, 50 rounds in the draft, right? And they cut it down to 20, and it cut out 600 draft picks. So a lot of those draft picks were college guys.
Ground ball handled by the second baseman Singer, and Arquette covers the back at second base to end the inning. That'll do it for Baylor in the top of the 5th. Nick, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate the partnership with Rev and the baseball program here. So thank you so much.
Enjoyed having you.
All right, take care.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour, Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Now I'm in the back of the church, begging God just to stop the Excuse me, you look like you love me.
Yep.
Thank you, my friend.
And welcome back to Arlington. 3-2 in the bottom of the fifth inning. There was a review on that play at second base. The call on the field stands. The runner is out.
Again, that middle infield for Oregon State is so talented around the baseball, and it was not an easy play again. A topspin ball back up the middle, and Singer just makes it look too easy at times.
Here's a look at that play.
I mean, he's definitely out, without any doubt. I thought he was out from the get-go. See the reaction from the Baylor player, but it was definitely out.
Talking more about this Oregon State program. The Beavers, three-time national champions, 2006 and 7, going back-to-back. Mitch Canada, catcher on both of those Beaver teams, winning another title in 2018 in what was the final season for coaching legend Pat Casey. They've been to Omaha 7 times, 9 super regionals, including a year ago in Lexington, Kentucky, 3 Pac-12 titles as well. Although, Todd, not really a baseball conference this year, just 2 teams in it, but about to expand next year.
They are, and well, you talked to Coach Cannon about how hard it was on the scheduling piece. That would just, to me, would be, he called it an opportunity. I would have called it a nightmare at first, right? Having to, go out there and make this, schedule this year. But yeah, they're going to, make that conference grow again. It was always such an unbelievable conference. I mean, think about this: 3 national titles, and then even you go to when other USC and UCLA were involved. I mean, it's just hard to fathom to me, right? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not passing judgment on anything other than my own thoughts, and it's just hard to imagine that. And and college athletics is evolving. I mean, just like the portal and all kinds of things that have evolved is the right word in my mind. But I'm gonna say that Pat Casey, who we went out there one year, play when I was coaching at Texas State, ran into a buzzsaw, and they got after us for 3 games. But it's such a unique place to go play. The fans were unbelievable. It was loud, and they love their Beaver baseball now, let me tell you. And it was an exciting place to be and go play. And our guys I enjoyed going out there.
That first title team of Oregon State in 06 won 50 games for Pat Casey. And they actually trailed in the World Series finals against North Carolina 0-1. Came back to win the next 2 games and claim the national championship. Jonah Nickerson was the most outstanding player of that World Series. And that summer, the Beavers had 9 players drafted to include Mitch Canham. Full count to Weber, a swing and a miss. 4th strikeout for Calder. One away here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
If memory serves me right, they beat Stanford, and I remember watching them in the regionals beat Stanford to go to Omaha that year, if I remember right.
Talking about this being a year in transition for Oregon State. Only the Beavers and Washington State in the current Pac-12. And so with the scheduling this year, playing teams hailing from 9 different conferences, 9 of those against teams out of the Big Ten.
Well, what do? They go and get the off week, right? That would make sense. The Big Ten off, every team's got an off week, and conference-wise, and maybe they, jumped in there and took that spot, and were able to fulfill their schedule.
One of those Big Ten series will be revisiting the longtime rivalry with Oregon. A 3-game series in Eugene, followed by a midweek game in Corvallis against the Ducks. That'll happen in April.
Well, that series and those two teams playing each other, that means too much to that state. They're not going to let that go away.
Swung on, popped up to the shortstop Kemp. 4 in a row sat down by Calder as Macias heads back to the dugout.
If I go back in my mind and I go back to inning number 1, Calder has probably made 2 bad pitches all night. Now he's given up the 2-run. I thought, in the first inning it was a great job of hitting. Their plan to go up there, try to find something away and drive it the other way. Since then, Calder has changed his approach to the hitters, and he's gone to the, like we mentioned earlier, the third base side of the plate with his breaker and his fastball, and mixed up different sides, elevated as well, and you see why he's the number 1 guy out there. I promise you that we're seeing it. The lineup that he's faced with Oregon State is physical and athletic and powerful.
A ball and 2 strikes to Caraway. 7 has scored back in the first inning. Great leadoff man for the Beavers. He's coming off an injury-plagued season from a year ago. Missed more than 2 months of action last year. Caraway takes a borderline pitch in the breaking ball that just misses.
I don't know if we can get the strike box out in time on this one, but get another look at it, because I'm like you, Brent. I thought it caught enough of the strike zone. It sure did. Top half of that baseball. Calder thought it too. He was headed to the dugout.
On the ground is second. Little to Pendergrass. A 1-2-3-5 for Ethan Calder. We head to the 6th inning from Arlington. Oregon State on top of the Bears, 3-2. We're back after this.
Golden Chick's new Golden Bowl is so big, it's a whole lot of yes and a whole lot of yum. So if you like big bowls, then we cannot lie. The new loaded mashed potato bowl is a whole lot of Golden Chick, a big bowl you can't deny.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Leading off at the top of the 6th is Wesley Jordan. Last time we saw him tie, he went deep to the upper deck.
Oh, he sure did. I mean, that was obviously a great swing. Knew it immediately when it left his bat. Got in behind that pitch. Ball in the middle. You can see the excitement. Trying to get his teammates fired up. Got him right back in the game.
And up at the plate to start the 6th inning here for the Bears at a 3-2 game. Now 12 runs batted in on the season for Wesley Jordan. And facing Eric Segura for the first time. Mentioned all the Baylor injuries from a year ago. A scary moment for Jordan last season. Got hit in the head by a pitch and had to miss 3 weeks of action. Big swing and a miss on a fastball at 94.
He got that one up above him tell you what, that fastball had a lot of action, a lot of ride to it, a lot of movement, an explosion right as it got in the dirt area of home plate.
On the ground to the left side, Arquette makes a play for the first out.
If I was a young high school player and I came to here for a Friday night to come watch, some baseball, these teams have all of them have great infielders. I've watched the infield play, starting the game before, but these two guys in the middle for Oregon State, they're special defenders.
How to bring up Hunter Simmons. First pitch breaking ball is in there for a strike.
And I'd have to throw Kemp in there too from Baylor. That shortstop, he defends that middle well.
With all the injuries Baylor was dealt with a year ago, they finished 22-31 last year. 10-20 in the Big 12, failing to qualify for the conference tournament. But again, this season, out to their best start in 6 years. There's experience, there's health, and there's depth for Baylor this season.
Got to stay healthy. You got to create depth through winning, recruiting, and then you got to stay healthy. You got to be fortunate, and that is part of it.
Swing and a miss. Segura's second strikeout.
Yeah, Segura's doing a good job of throwing that heater underneath these right-handed hitters. 3 out of his last 4 fastballs have been right underneath him. Look at that thing just run right above the bat. Tough to get to the top of it, particularly at 94, 95 explosive miles an hour.
The Bears will bring up a pinch hitter for Pendergrass. Gavin Brzezowski, the sophomore at Mansfield, Texas. Another player coming off an injury from a year ago, suffered it in this ballpark in the opening weekend of the 2024 season.
Yeah, I was here. I think you were too. Just unfortunate. And then, I think 2 weeks later they lost another one outfielder to injury, and then
it was Simmons, who we saw the batter before, broke his leg tracking down a fly ball. This season, Baylor picked to finish 13th in a deep Big 12, even with the subtractions of Texas and Oklahoma. You had Arizona, Arizona State, Utah. A lot of good teams in the Big 12 this year. Oklahoma State picked to win it.
I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to finish 13th. I mean, look, I'm not going to say who's is or who's going to. They're going to. A little bit different, better looking team. Obviously, today, a healthier team than a year ago.
And Brzezowski draws a 2-out walk. A look at the preseason poll in the Big 12. Again, the Cowboys picked to win it. Newcomer Arizona picked second. TCU, who was here last weekend, picked to finish third. How about the crowd? TCU and Arkansas drew here last week. 20,000 in attendance for that game.
I love it. It's college baseball. Let me tell you what, those Hogs and Hog fans, they'll go wherever there's something going on with a Razorback on the front of their jersey.
And Brzezowski takes off for second. Here's the tag, not in time from Arquette. And Brzezowski safe at second.
Yeah, that's good alert base running. A good runner, 1 for 1 on the year, which isn't a bunch. But he gets, Shakur goes to a high leg kick. And Brzezowski does a good job of getting the jump, sliding straight into the bag. And now in scoring position with 2 outs. he was shuffling off. It was almost like his first couple steps was almost like a delay, but nobody stopped his feet in his secondary.
(2-0) now to Ty Johnson. Started the inning with a look back at the homer hit by Wesley Jordan. Johnson hit Baylor's first home of the season at opening day against Youngstown State. Bears not a huge home run hitting team, just 6 now in the year. And the 2-1 is in there on the fastball at 93.
Well, I can't imagine there was a whole lot of home run going on last weekend. Too many places. If you were in Texas, it was cold.
The weather.
And the weather was miserable. And look, we're not the toughest down here when it comes to that cold weather in Texas. We're just not used to it.
Up the middle to Arquette. And the throw over to first base ends the inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th from Globe Life Field in Arlington. 9th ranked Oregon State on top of the Bears, 3-2. We're back after this. Globe Life Field is the home to the Big 12 Conference Tournament. A look at the 2025 trophy awaiting its winner coming up in May. A year ago, the tournament champion, Oklahoma State, here in Arlington. The Cowboys open up their season here at Globe Life Field. A couple of teams in the Big 12 currently ranked. Cincinnati and TCU. Baylor receiving votes. Should note that Oklahoma State, again, the reigning Big 12 tournament champions, now out of the top 25 coming into the week, as Iva Arquette flies out to Apodaca to start the inning.
Pitch number 81 from Calder, and he's adjusted. If you get a good look at him, he's adjusted to what their plan was, as good pitchers do. His stuff has gotten, I think, even more livelier as the game's going on, and he's starting to loosen up and sweat a little bit. And I tell you what, I've enjoyed watching him. He pitches within himself. He doesn't try to do something he's not capable of doing. He's comfortable on the mound, his delivery, and all 3 of his pitches.
Through 5 1/3 so far tonight, 4 strikeouts, just 3 hits given up. One of those, that 2-1 single hit by Turley in the first, and the homer to Craig in the 4th.
Well, as an infielder, you got to love his pace too, Brand. I mean, he throws the pitch, starts backtracking right to the rubber, catches it, looks in, and he's ready to go.
That ball drilled to left field. Jordan going back, and he's not going to get there. Bounces off the bottom of the wall. Peterson winds up at second with a one-out double.
Had made many mistakes tonight. This one was. This ball was elevated out over the plate and a 2-strike count. Was trying to go off the plate. You can see the catcher was set up way off the plate. Just missed his spot. Just didn't get it out there where he was trying to. Well, you just can't do it with these Oregon State hitters.
A ground rule double for Peterson. Brings up Gavin Turley.
We got timeout. Coach Thompson's on his way to the mound. He's probably at, what, 85, 84, 85 pitches. Yep, and they're going to make a move. This young man's had a good night. I tell you what, I thought he pitched good, competed. You can see his teammates all giving him a fist bump as he exits the mound, getting a round of ovation, a standing ovation from the Baylor faithful.
And with that, the Bears will turn to Grayson Murray. That's it for Ethan Calder. Exits the game in the 6th inning after giving up the ground rule double to Tice Peterson. Calder was on the verge of seeing the heart of the order a 3rd time through. Instead, the ball will head to Grayson Murray. Back after this from Arlington, Texas on Flow College.
Curley celebrating 30 meters out.
5,000 meters on the track, ready to roll. Collegiate national lead.
Going to close there on her inside, but it looks like Shaheen could take this front to back. 200-meter final.
Brad Fisher, the American record holder.
This is superhuman.
But Holloway crossed the line. He's only 3 100ths outside the world record.
On the mound now for the Bears is Grayson Murray, a first-year transfer out of Tyler Junior College. Stands as 6'5", 219 pounds. Relieving Ethan Calder, the starter for the Bears, who goes 5 1/3. And this will mark the 3rd appearance of the season for Murray. Last pitched on Tuesday against Stephen F. Austin. Couple of scoreless innings and got the win over the Lumberjacks.
A different look now. Calder obviously left-handed, Murray right-handed. That's the first piece. Second piece, the arm action. As you brought up, 6'4", 6'5", frame, long-armed, long-bodied. It's going to be a low 3/4 action, arm action with that ball, 2-seamer running from left to right, breaker running right to left, obviously, but good late action, sink action to his fastball from Murray.
So far, Baylor's bullpen has been excellent this season. In 35 innings of relief, the pen has allowed just 8 runs for a 2.06 ERA. Runner at second, 1 out for Gavin Turley.
If you're going to be a reliever and you're going to come into a game with runners in scoring position, they're going to your coach is going to ask you to throw a slider or something secondary at first pitch. More times than not, when you got guys in RBIs situations, and so you got to be able to execute them. Now you find yourself in an offense. Now he's in an offensive count and a 2-0 hitters count.
Fouled off the changeup. Had the pleasure earlier in the game to be joined by David Murphy, former Baylor Bear turned major leaguer. 5 former Baylor players are on big league rosters this past year. That's grounded foul for strike 2. Cody Bradford with the Rangers. Shea Langoliers with the A's. Nick Lofton with the Royals. Davis Wenzel with the Reds. And Max Muncy for the Dodgers, who became the first Baylor player ever to win 2 World Series titles.
Now, you just named off a lot of great players out of the Baylor organization.
Got him looking, strike 3. Great pitch in the other half by Murray.
That's hard on a right-handed hitter because of the angle is coming from that 3/4 angle, puts pressure on the right-handed hitter. Watch it go across the screen and then run left to right, come right back and catch the corner. We're going to get it right on the, right on it. Maybe an inch off the plate at 89 miles an hour. That's to the front of the plate, to the back of the plate. I bet it caught the back of the plate. First strike.
Here's Jacob Craig, homered his last time up in the 4th inning off of Calder.
He blasted that ball. I mean, you ask hitters what that feels like when they know they've hit one that's going out of the ballpark, and there's that sensation that they get, euphoric sensation of knowing, you know, I put the work in, I put the time in, just landed on a, a tough pitch and hit it out. I mean, there's a lot of emotion behind those.
That ball drilled to left field and another base hit for Craig. Peterson around third. He'll score to make it 4-2 Oregon State.
All games oftentimes seem to be decided with 2 outs. Slider running away from him. Brett, that ball's on the outer half of the plate, and he still covers it up. He stays in there long enough. Barrel stays in there long enough. He's able to catch that slider running away from him and still pull it into left field for a base hit.
That was the first 2-out hit for either team tonight, as A.J. Singer takes a strike. That ball headed towards right field. Apodaca tracks it down for the 3rd and final out. Jacob Craig comes through again. A 2-out base hit drives in Peterson. And now Oregon State doubling up Baylor. 4-2 Beavers over the Bears, heading into the 7th from Globe Life Field in Arlington. We had a chance to visit with him earlier in the game. Mitch Canham, the Beavers head coach, former All-American in Corvallis, a couple of World Series titles in back-to-back years, 06 and 07. Spent some time coaching in the Mariners organization. And every year as a coach at Oregon State, he's guided his team to the NCAA tournaments. Last year, the Beavers hosted a regional in Corvallis, won that. before the season ended in the Supers in Lexington. We go to the top of the 7th inning. 4-2, Oregon State on top. Here's a big swing from Toplansky, and that is gone. No, it's caught. What a catch. Easton Tolt robbed him of a home run. What a play out in right field.
Get out of here. This is unbelievable. He goes along. Now, he's not playing deep, so he's not playing on the track. This ball is launched, and as soon as he hit it, I think it's out. I'm like you. I think it's out of the park. Watch him elevate, put his arm up, put his hands in the ball, barely hanging out. And watch how fired up he is. The bullpen's fired up. Watch them right here. Now watch how excited he gets, and I don't blame him one bit. That is awesome.
Early candidate for catch of the year in college baseball this season. What a play by Easton Tolt.
I got F9 written in my book, but with about 10 asterisks next to it saying awesome. I mean, that was unbelievable.
His ability to hold on to the ball once his arm hit the railing is just incredible.
It looked like the old snow cone catch. Like in our day, they would call it a snow cone catch because it was sticking out the end of the glove. But the athleticism to go up, the timing, so much goes at playing in a park you've never played in. Well, I guess he maybe has in the past, but knowing that the fence was right there, the center fielder. Macias is hollering at him, I'm sure you're at the fence, but he puts his right hand on the fence and like he's been dreaming about it every night before he goes to bed.
We talked at length about this great infield defense of Oregon State's, headlined by Arquette at short, Singer, great plays at second. But man, that outfield in right, Easton Tolt, what a catch.
I'm going to tell you, yeah, this is too good. This is too good not to get another look at this. Look at everybody. I was excited too. I'm not going to lie. I felt bad for the Baylor hitter and everybody, one side's so excited and the other side's in disbelief that it happened. Every once in a while as a hitter, even the other team, you just kind of tip your hat on something like that. I mean, that's just unreal.
It would have been Baylor's second home run of the game. The 2-2. On the ground is short. Arquette's 2 outs. A far more routine looking play than the one we saw prior.
Yeah. I mean, if we see another play like that this weekend or this month, it might be hard pressed, but I don't know. We shouldn't be. The way athletic is all 4 of these teams in this tournament.
This pitch popped up. Caraway from third. Can't make the catch. And Kemp winds up at second.
Well, we go from one of the greatest catches you're going to see to one that should have been caught, be caught 99 out of 100 or 99 and a half out of 100, and he can't believe it himself either. Ball is skied up, way up in the air. He's calling for it all the way, and it just doesn't step through it. Two polar opposite fly ball opportunities for the Beavers.
Back to the top of the order to Jack Little. The inning stays alive for Baylor.
Now let's see if Baylor can take advantage of it. They had a home run stolen from them. Now they get a fly ball and look, it's going to be a routine out. Fly ball to third base. Gets dropped. Got a runner in scoring position.
And now the catcher Weber to visit with Segura.
Brent, this may be one of those, hey, here, come on, you got to keep pitching here. Let's go, come on. I know it happened in fly ball. He's going to catch 1 million of those. It just happens every once in a while in this game. Refocus right here, you and me. Let's go back to work. Let's get out of this inning.
Jack Little 0 for 2. He's been on base once so far tonight. Hitting in the leadoff spot for the Bears. And Segura throws back to second. Little, a batter with great play discipline. Drew a walk in the 5th inning. That's now 7 walks for him over the past 4 games. That ball to right field and a base hit. Here comes Kemp, and the error proves costly for Oregon State. It's a 1-run game.
This game can be so unusual, so punishing, so exciting, so many different emotions. One, we get a great catch in right field, then we miss a routine fly ball in the infield, allowing the runner to get to second base. And then, I mean, just an absolute tremendous job by Little hitting, going the other way. And they get a run back off of Oregon State stealing one on the homer. They get one back on the error.
And now the tying run on base for Enzo Apodaca. A mound visit coming up here for Oregon State. Pitching coach Rich Dorman. Sixth season now for Rich Dorman in Corvallis. Has worked side by side with Mitch Canham. And the 2022 and 23 seasons, the Beavers set a program record for strikeouts. Over the past 4 years under his watch as a staff, more than 2,200 punch-outs for Beaver pitching.
Well, he does a tremendous job. He's one of the best in the business. I mean, obviously, the success that they have as a team and as an organization, historically, when you have that kind of success, it starts somewhere in the middle of the field, on the mound, right? And then work your way through it to the offensive side, defense, all the above. But if you're going to be really, really good, like Oregon State has been and traditionally been so good, you're going to be good on the mound. And Dorman's done an unbelievable job with the pitchers since he's been there for the last 6 years.
Apodaca with a fly ball to right. And that's going to drift just out of play.
I thought he had a chance to catch that out in the bleachers out there, but it wasn't really much of an effort. Not like the guy that's robbed the home run. We just saw a home run rob. He could have got up a little bit, maybe reached back and caught that ball.
Wouldn't even get up from his seat.
No. Yeah, I think he had his phone in his hand, too.
That would have made a catch all the more impressive.
And expensive.
That's true. Enzo Apodaca, a second-year transfer to this Baylor program from Gonzaga. Spent 3 seasons there before transferring to Baylor this past year. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Saw him strike out early in the game. This for a player who was the toughest batter to strike out in the Big 12 a year ago. Popped up towards left. Turley coming in to make the catch. That'll end the inning. The Bears get a run, but they could have had two. Instead, it was Easton Talt making the catch of the year for Oregon State. Robbing Toplansky of a home run, catching this one before it reached the Beavers bullpen. Time to stretch in Arlington. 4-3, Oregon State. Time down for the 7th inning stretch presented by Amegy Bank. Good one here in the nightcap of our doubleheader. Beavers on top 4-3. Some big swings, big pitches, certainly some big catches in this one here tonight. We go to the bottom of the 7th, bottom part of the order, batting for the Beavers. Talt, Weber, and Macias, and of course, Ty was Talt that had that great catch in the top of the inning.
That's the way the game is, right? That's how it happens.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is second inning of relief for Grayson Murray. Got him looking, strike 3. Second strikeout for Murray. 1 away here in the 7th.
A little backdoor breaker. And I tell you what, Murray, an unusual leg kick, delivery, 3/4, a little bit lower, a little bit lower 3/4, can still make the ball go from right to left with a little bit of down action on his breaker, but right then that was just execution of a slider off the plate coming back to the outer edge and catching it. And so far, Brent, a lot of strikes.
Ahead against Weber, 0-2.
You know, he came out Tyler Junior College. Look at Doug Wren was a head coach there for a long time too. They've won a lot of junior college Division II national titles. It's been a really successful, and now back to Division I junior college baseball, but a lot of great players out of there.
Popped up to second. Jack Little has it for the second out. You mentioned Murray throwing strikes. He's thrown 17 pitches in this game, 13 to the strike zone.
Well, that's owning the strike zone. If you're going to pitch, you got to have, first of all, you got to have good stuff, which he does. Unusual delivery, which helps him because he's able to use it to his advantage. But then you got to be able to own the strike zone, and so far he's been able to do that.
Bases empty, 2 out for Dallas Macias. Swung on. Headed towards foul territory. And the shortstop, Tyreek Kemp, makes the catch. Another great catch in this game.
That is a tremendous catch again. You're right. Another one in this game. He catches it as he's sliding towards the fence. He does a great job. This is a shortstop's ball because it's behind the third baseman. As he goes down, sliding, know the fence is coming. Catch it. That's big-time stuff.
Beavers have turned to the bullpen again. The starter Nelson Keljo gave Oregon State 4 innings. And then 3 innings of relief from Eric Segura. Now it's Matthew Morrell into the game for Oregon State. Ready to make his 3rd appearance of the season. First 2 appearances, no runs given up in 2 2/3 innings.
That's a good live fastball with a breaker to back it up. He's been stingy giving up runs. Haven't given up one yet. Teams are hitting 250 off of him, but hasn't given up any runs.
Facing the heart of the Baylor order here in the 8th inning, Jordan, Simmons, and Brzozowski. Hitters 3, 4, and 5. Jordan, one of the big hits in the game for Baylor, a 2-run homer back in the 4th. Fastball to misses low, 3-0. And Jordan takes all the way and takes a strike.
Another 93, 95 mile an hour arm coming out of the Beaver bullpen.
Saw the starter Keljo throwing 96 early in the game for Oregon State. Full counts. Swing and a miss, and he lost his bat. Jordan strikes out. 1 down here at the top of the 8th.
Well, the 3-1 fastball set that up. A 3-0 right in the middle to get back in the count. A 3-1 underneath him at 93, 94 with great action to it. Then he just goes to that wicked slider. Brent, when they throw it that hard, it's got that much action. You got to get it, that barrel started so soon. All of a sudden you see that slider, it starts in the middle of the plate and then disappears.
Nobody on, 1 away for Hunter Simmons. 1 for 3 nights so far. A ball to strike, and Simmons goes around.
Now you got one side fired up and the other side booing. Again, I think those check swings.
One-two pitch. Might be playable for Craig from first, and has enough room to make the catch for the second out.
This is an outstanding catch. I don't know who's in charge of coaching all the catches tonight. This is a new ballpark for him. He's got to find the fence, and as he does, he sees it. He starts to shuffle down the fence line as the ball's kind of passed over his left shoulder, and does a good job of staying with it and making the catch.
Boy, it feels like none of the outs late in the game have been routine.
Yeah, no. These are two good teams getting after it, is what it is.
Here's Rosowski. Came off the bench back of the sixth and drew a walk. Took over for Will Pendergrass. Swing and a miss. There's that fastball at 93.
That thing is exploding. When it gets to the top of the triangle, man, just the last piece of that fastball just explodes.
Swung on. Fly ball out towards left. Turley has got it. And Morel is through the heart of the order in the eighth. We head to the bottom of the eighth inning. Oregon State on top of Baylor 4-3 here on Flow College. Sports are better on the big screen. Head to your preferred device, App Store to download the all-new Flow Sports TV apps for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, and Chromecast. We head to the bottom of the eighth inning in an entertaining game to wrap up today's doubleheader. 4-3 Oregon State on top. Beavers coming to bat looking for some insurance. Here the home half of the eighth inning. Top part of the order coming up for the Beavers. Caraway, Arquette, and Peterson. And Baylor has a new arm on the mound. It is Will Glatch. Out on the mound now for Baylor. Senior out of Frisco, Texas. in his second season with his Baylor program from McLennan Community College.
Another one out of McLennan, MCC. Tyler Johnson, the head coach there, son of Skip Johnson, but also, so you see this ball lifted out to right field.
Apodaca, did he make that catch? No. Was kind of hiding in the corner there, away from our camera angle. Couldn't bring it in, but the way this game is going, would have been surprised had he made that catch.
Yeah, I was going to finish what I was saying with Tyler Johnson, the head coach here now, but Mitch Thompson, who's the head coach at Baylor, after he was an assistant at Baylor, went to be the head coach. After scouting for a couple years, became the head coach at MCC, won a national title.
He won close to 400 games in just 9 seasons there.
And I've told people this, and I'm sincere when I say this. He's one of the top evaluators in college baseball. He was as an assistant at Baylor, he was a tremendous recruiter, but a tremendous evaluator. Meaning evaluating talent.
One and two to Caraway. On the ground to short. Kemp. Long throw. In time to Brzezowski for the first out.
I like it. That young man can play that shortstop. He gets over there, gets in position, gets that right foot down, and I mean absolutely fires the ball across the diamond.
More on Mitch Thompson, as Ty said, formerly the head coach at McLennan Community College before returning to Waco as head coach for Baylor. Was an assistant for Steve Smith for 18 seasons. Spent some time with the SEC as well, to Auburn and at Mississippi State. Iva Arquette 0 for 2 with a walk and a run tonight for Oregon State. Three runs and 4 hits for Baylor tonight. No errors. The Beavers 4 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. Charged to Caraway. Two.
I think you used the word entertaining game. Is that what you, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been. Exciting, entertaining.
Got him looking, strike 3. Nice pitch from Glatch. 2 outs here in the 8th.
Good looking pitch. We'll get another look at it. Oh, that fastball comes running back. Watch it moving from left to right with that 2-seam. That says 4-seam, but it's got a 2-seam action to it. At 95 miles an hour. Came roaring back and caught the plate.
Brings up Tice Peterson. Swung on, out towards center. Ty Johnson has got it. That's it for the Beavers in the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. Baylor down to his final 3 outs, trailing by a run. 4-3 Oregon State on top of the end of 8. And we're back after this from Globe Life Field in Arlington. Play of the game has to be the catch from Easton Altz. Back in the 7th inning, robbing Hunter Toplansky of a home run. Some of the next level stats for he had to cover 25.3 feet per second. He had to cover 86 feet, wound up covering 89 on that play.
He did, and covered it running 25 miles an hour. I don't know what the earth looks like moving that fast. And then I'd like to say the opportunity time is 6.3 seconds to go catch that thing and then climb up the wall. I mean, you got to add that part in there too.
And now we see Johnson hit into the shifts. Singer in perfect position to make the play. One pitch and one out from Morrell here in the 9th.
Well, what I consider one of the funnest innings and moments in college baseball, the 9th inning. You train for moments like this offensively, pitching, defense. You train for the whole game, but you talk so much about the 9th inning and how you perform at the end of a game.
Pinch hitter Pearson Reebok at the plate now for Baylor.
Well, he's the one who got robbed, right? Is that right?
That is correct. I beg your pardon. Not Toplansky, but Reebok. And Reebok here flies out to left. Baylor down to his final out of the game.
Well, I'm anxious to see from a defensive alignment now. You're protecting a 1-run lead. Oregon State is. Are they going to go with the no doubles positioning in the infield? Back up their outfielders a little bit. A lot of guys feel differently defensively. How you do that, how you handle it. Analytics speaks to some of it, but then also the type of hitter and or pitcher that you've got on the mound will decide that as well. And we'll get a look at the third baseman, which would be the pull side for the right-handed hitter. Now, we may be seeing, as I'm saying that, we may be seeing a pinch hitter or just an offensive timeout.
Looks like J.J. Kennett coming up now for Baylor. So yes, Reebok the one, robbed of the homer, not Toplansky. And now Kennett pinch hitting for Castle. Bears down to their final outs, now down to their final 2 strikes.
Tell you what, that fastball, 93 to 95. But the velocity doesn't describe it completely, the explosion behind it.
Up the middle, and the shifts. Singer, the throw to first base, and Oregon State takes this one by a final of 4-3.
What a game. Exciting game. Full of unbelievable plays, moments, pitching, hitting. It's a tremendous college baseball game, Brent.
How about the job by Matthew Morrell? The final 2 innings, he was perfect for Oregon State.
Yeah, he was perfect. They ran 3 really, really high-end arms out there. Oregon State did. And look, Baylor, I thought Baylor pitched good. I mean, this Oregon State team is an offensive team just like the Baylor team is. And so I thought the pitching tonight was good. Even though it's a 7 total runs scored, I still think that both teams did a great job of pitching the baseball tonight. And obviously the long ball, was a difference in the games.
A 4-3 win for the Beavers. Our player of the game, Jacob Craig, drives in 2 of the runs for Oregon State. About to be joined by him down to the field as the Beavers improved to 6-2 on the year with this win. And now we're joined by Jacob Craig, a big homer back in the 4th inning. Let's start there. Jacob, take us back to your home run swing to put you on top and break that 2-2 tie.
Well, I was just trying to see pitches well. Started off 0-2. I was trying to compete every pitch, and then I got my pitch.
Yeah, explain to the crowd what that feels like when you've landed on a ball like you did, and you hit it out of the park, and you know it immediately as soon as you hit it. What does that feel like?
It's one of the best feelings in the world, for sure.
Well, a lot of big moments for your team in this game to include that home run you hit, Jacob, back in the 4th inning, but maybe no moment bigger as we take a look at your RBI single in the 6th as well. The catch by Easton Talt, robbing Baylor of a home run. What do you remember about that play?
Unbelievable. I mean, he's been playing his tail off out there, laying it all on the line. Couldn't ask for anything better than that.
What does it mean for your team to start out 1-0 in this particular tournament here in Arlington?
It's a good start, but our eyes are on tomorrow for sure.
A big game against Auburn tomorrow night. You're now 6-2 in the season. Jacob, thank you so much, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Jacob Craig, our player of the game. Baylor wins it by a final score of 4-3. Big win for the Beavers here tonight.
A huge win. I mean, and a great baseball game. Both sides, I thought both teams competed so hard tonight in the first game of this tournament, but again, I was impressed with the pitching and the power, and then ultimately, I thought the defense was just so much fun and so exciting. I mean, you don't get to see some of the catches that we got a chance to see tonight.
That's going to wrap up our coverage of today's doubleheader. 2 games on deck for you tomorrow. It starts with Baylor at Ohio State at 2 o'clock, followed by the nightcap between the Beavers and the Tigers here at Flo College. Until then, for Ty Harrington, I'm Brant Freeman saying so long from Globe Life Field at Arlington. The final score, Oregon State 4, Baylor 3. Good night here from North Texas. We'll see you tomorrow here on Flo College.